The Comcast Business Hotline, we're always bouncing forward, and we appreciate a second visit of the week from NFL's premier insider, Adam Schefter, who joins us. Adam, everybody here it seems to be we're talking more about who didn't get the job in Philly this morning than who did in this Nick Sirianni hire.
Okay, well, who are you talking about that didn't get the job?
Deuce Staley seems to be the object of everybody's desire, saying Deuce got – and the talking points seem to be Deuce got screwed over, not getting this job.
Listen, Deuce was absolutely qualified. Deuce is somebody who could have gotten that job, and they made their decision essentially. Guys, hold on a second.
See, this is Family Man, Adam Schefter, making time for us.
I think he's purchasing a pet today, isn't he? He might be.
Yeah, we're on my way to Pennsylvania. My daughter's in the back going to school. She's mad that the iPods are not working with the phone because it's a new phone.
Oh, see?
And she has school starting. Okay, guys, you know what? This is a little bit of a family track. I have to call you back in 5 minutes.
He's calling back.
No problem.
He's
got
calling
it,
back
buddy.
in 5 minutes. Guess what? I totally understand that.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Absolutely.
I
Daughter's
totally
got to go to school.
understand that. Yes. Now, too, it's important, too, with all the technology nowadays, too, right? So she's going to school
From the backseat of a car. It's crazy.
virtually.
Yeah.
Is your daughter senior? Your daughter's a senior. My daughter's a junior. She bothered by all this when there's virtual stuff, when there's things, like what'd she think about it?
Yeah, you know what it is, John? It's funny because we get this question all the time, and we always wonder, people say we feel so sorry for them. They don't know any different. She's never been through senior high school. We all have. So it's different. I know what she's missing out on. She doesn't. So, and she gets to go to school so they go 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, and it rotates.
That's not bad at all.
No, so in that way, no, it's not. Now, she had exams this week, and all exams were taken from home. So
What?
Yeah, I know.
That's weird.
Wait a minute.
I would cheat my ass off.
So
Did you cheat?
So
I wasn't a big cheater, but if I was left at home with a subject I struggled in,
She didn't cheat?
So one of
I mean, here and there, I would take
is this the
trust tree? Yeah.
The trust tree?
All right, trust.
I'll raise my hand. I cheated.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it. I cheated. Adam,
Come on, Bob. Fess up.
Adam Schefter's,
I don't care.
Adam Schefter's back with us. Adam, that's a good dad moment, and we all understand.
Oh, my God. Yeah, well, listen, we are driving to Pennsylvania today to pick up 2 puppies. There are going to be 5 dogs in the Schefter family.
Wow.
Oh, my
As of
gosh.
today. 5. And so we're going to have 5 dogs, and it's an effort to get going here.
Have you named the dogs already?
We have a argument about the dogs' names.
Can we help mediate, maybe? Give a little feedback?
Well, we've got a few candidates. We got Bo, which I kind of like. That's a good one. We got Oliver, Cooper, Maisie. So
there you go. Seems like you have a lot of voices that are trying to get their voice in. Adam, you know you're gonna have to make somebody mad though. I mean, I would defer this pick. I'd let somebody else do this thing, right? I mean, you just do the driving.
Listen, I am going to be doing the driving. It's about a 3-hour drive from where we're at. You know, I'm very thankful that the Eagles filled their head coaching job yesterday rather than today, so that when I got the information that I wouldn't be driving off the road at the time. You know, that would be, my wife gets very upset when I'm tweeting and driving.
There you go.
Obviously, you can't be doing that.
What was when Nick Sirianni, everyone's telling us here, there seems like an overwhelming voice that's saying the Eagles somehow either screwed over or passed over Deuce Staley and that he should have gotten this job. In NFL circles, are you hearing that outside of the Philly metro area?
Look, I'm not going to say that Duke didn't get, however you want to describe it, passed over. I've not heard that, okay? And obviously Philadelphia feels that way. But nationally, that's not the discussion. If we're going to talk nationally, black head coaches have been passed over. Okay, black head coaches have been passed over. Not Deuce Staley single-handedly. I've heard a lot of that conversation, and there should be a lot of that conversation because there have been 6 head coaching hires so far. Is it 6? I think it's 6, right?
Yes.
And no black head coaches so far. None. Okay? And they fired one in Anthony Lynn, but it's a situation where no black head coaches have been named so far. We're down to Houston as the last opening. I'd like to think that the league, for what it is, tried to do would get a black head coach there, but we'll see. I mean, Leslie Frazier's in contention, Eric Bieniemy's in contention, and we'll see whether they get a job. That has been the national conversation more than Deuce Staley being passed over. No disrespect to Deuce at all. Deuce is worthy of a job like that, but I've not heard that. That's your guy's story. The national story, I'm looking at it from a bigger perspective, and the bigger perspective is the lack of progress of black head coaches.
Schefter, where it happens every offseason that offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators' names pop up. Where did Nick Sirianni's name pop up to you, and how high of a level was it in conversation when the offseason came about? Well, not offseason for certain teams.
Nick has been on the head coaching radar for a few years. And it's something that he's been looking to graduate to and aspire to. It's a kind of situation where, listen, was he the guy that people were talking about right away? No, I think people were talking about Arthur Smith and Brandon Staley and Eric Bieniemy more than they were talking about Nick Sirianni. But that doesn't mean that Nick Sirianni is not going to be a good head coach. I mean, that has nothing to do with it. No one was talking about Sean McVay when he was hired, and Sean McVay worked out to be a pretty good head coach.
Sure.
And so, it doesn't matter who's hot and who's not. I can tell you that he was a 39-year-old guy who had a head coaching future in front of him at some point. People didn't know whether it was going to be this year or next year or 5 years. But at some point, Nick Sirianni was going to get a chance to be a head coach, and it happened to come now, and it happened to come in Philadelphia.
Adam, do you believe that Andy Reid, Frank Reich, or others, or do you have any knowledge of that they were selling Nick Sirianni and what they know of him to the Eagles organization and giving him their thumbs up?
Listen, the Philadelphia Eagles had a contingent of 11 people in West Palm Beach for the better part of a week. Every single one of them is digging in, making calls, doing research, conducting interviews. I think it would be narrow-minded to think that Andy Reid or Frank Reich got Nick Sirianni hired. Did they talk to these coaches about them? Absolutely. Did they get their feedback? Sure. Did it play a part? I'm sure it did. But again, they're doing a lot of work on a lot of coaches, and ultimately that coach has got to come in and spend time with that group of people and make his own impression and live on his merits, no matter what anybody else is saying or not saying.
Yeah, Adam, so one of the first questions I had, I went, okay, I don't know Nick Sirianni. I'm going to give him his chance. But I do wonder a lot about his staff that's going to be coming with him. There's a couple veterans out there, Anthony Lynn, who he worked with, Jim Caldwell, who had ties to the Colts, and then Wade Phillips, talk about a veteran DC head. He just tweeted last week he's ready to return. Do you see Nick Sirianni bringing in maybe that veteran type of former head coach type of guy, or are there any rumors as to who his staff might be?
Listen, he has to bring in somebody like that. I don't know who it's going to be, which of those men is going to join him in Philadelphia. But as a 39-year-old coach who has not been a head coach, right, he is going to need to lean on the voice of experience. And he's going to need to lean on other people who have some familiarity with how that job works. All those names that you brought up are all qualified, credible names. Jim Caldwell is a great man. I've known him for a long time. Wade Phillips, I've known for 25 years. He would love to be back in the game, period. Nobody's invited him back in. So Anthony Lynn is a guy who he's gotten interest from a lot of people this offseason. And in talking to, he's not brought up Philadelphia to me, but then again, I haven't spoken to him since the Eagles hired Nick Sirianni. So maybe that changes the dynamics of the situation. I don't know. But Nick has to bring in somebody, and will bring in somebody. It's not, He knows that. They know that. He'll bring in somebody that has been through this and understands how this works.
Adam Schefter on the Comcast Business Hotline. Bounce forward. Again, we talk about the NFL being a copycat league, and it's very, very clear. Again, the first-time NFL head coaches. I'm sort of keeping Urban Meyer out of it, but first-time NFL head coaches again in the hire. If Houston does hire an Eric Bieniemy or someone else, it seems like it'll be another one, a clean sweep, first-timers. Why is this the new trend, Adam? Why is it?
Well, I don't know that it's the new trend. Okay, I mean, there are guys that get chances again, right? If we go back and look at this, I'd have to sit down and look across the league here. I'm trying to come up with somebody off the top of my head right now. I
can't think of a retread the last few years, the last few cycles.
No, I'm just going through it in my mind.
Adam Gase, maybe.
Yeah, he was. Well, yeah.
Adam Gase was a retread. Yep, he got recycled. Andy Reid was recycled.
Yeah. One of the winning.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, but the thing is that one of the winningest coaches of the NFL in his tenure, though. I don't look at him as there are retreads. Like I don't look at Pete Carroll as a retread.
Then why wasn't Doug Peterson recycled this cycle with his winning record?
I think people saw the Eagles this year and think it's a mess. That's what I would guess.
Yeah, okay, but the point is, I think what you're saying, John, is that I just think that people like new, shiny toys. Everybody is enamored with trying to find the next Sean McVay, the next Kyle Shanahan. So when you see a guy that's out there like a Doug Peterson, well, you have an idea of what he's like. When you see a guy like Adam Gase, we see how that worked out. It didn't work out. So the Panthers, they can go roll the dice on a sexy name like Matt Rule and bring in all the energy and excitement and enthusiasm that his hire creates. And there's great curiosity, even with Nick Sirianni, who wasn't viewed initially as one of the top-tier coaching candidates of the cycle. Everybody's, what do they have in this young 39-year-old coach who has a strong reputation, right? People are wondering. It's a little bit sexier and shinier and newer than it is saying, okay, we're going to go hire Doug Peterson, for instance.
Schefter, are you surprised that Doug Peterson didn't get another shot in the league like early on?
No. First of all, he joined the party late. His firing came a week after the cycle was well underway. Teams were down the path with certain candidates. And this was not the best year for the Eagles nor Doug Peterson. Nobody came out of that with a shine. And so when you're looking to hire a coach, you want to make sure that you got a coach who I think is going to help your quarterback. I don't think that happened this past year in Philadelphia, right? And so he joined the party late. He's my age, and we're a little bit older, so I'm not going to say he's a little older. We're a little bit older, and I think, again, these teams are all looking for the next Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. Nick Sirianni, who's 39, Brandon Staley, who's however old he is, Arthur Smith, right? They all want the younger model of that. And so that's the situation. So I'm not surprised. And right away, if I remember correctly, somebody correct if I'm wrong, Sal Paolantonio came on ESPN that first day, and nobody texts more with Doug Peterson than Sal Paolantonio, as he likes to point out on the air. But I think Sal was the first one to allude to the fact that Doug could wind up taking a year off. And last year was a very hard, draining year with what the Eagles went through. And then you factor in all the COVID instances. It was a hard year on everybody in the NFL. And then if you take a hard year from COVID and you mix in the type of season that the Eagles had, that makes it doubly draining. And if you're in Doug Peterson's position, you've had the success you've had, and you've been able to make some of the money you have as a player. What do you need to do? What do you need to jump back in? Right? Like, why do you have to do that? Why can't you just take some time, make your money, take a step back, refresh yourself, rejuvenate, think about things, and then come back even stronger in 2022?
Yeah,
what's the rush?
Adam, if you had to guess, do you think Nick Sirianni comes out and names a starting quarterback, or do you think this lends to either a competition or a possible trade?
It's a great question. I think that I don't know what he'll do. I think that he'll say, look, we're going to go to camp. I haven't seen these players. I've got to see who they are, and we'll go with the best candidate that's available.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense. Good luck with the puppies, and we appreciate you making time for us today, Adam. And I sent you a tweet. Your bride can look at it. You can name one of the puppies after Nick Foles, like we did. Nicky.
Oh, you do? Well,
Nicky.
Yeah, well,
Nicky is our puppy. You know.
Let me ask you, hold on. I'm on the radio. Do we like the name Nicky for a puppy?
I heard it too. I swear to you. Hey, Adam, have a great weekend. We appreciate your time, man.
Guys, have a great day. You got it.
Thank you so much. Great to have Adam Schefter.